All right, welcome to the Explainer. So get this. The SEC, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, they've got this massive plan to pull American finance into the digital age. It's being called Project Crypto, and it could totally reshape our markets. So let's dive in and break down what this actually means.
And it all kicks off with this really powerful statement from the new SEC Chair, Paul Atkins. According to the source, this is not just some tiny policy tweak. No, this signals a huge shift in how regulators are thinking. They're basically going from being super cautious to wanting to lead the charge in the digital asset world.
Okay, so why the big rush? What's driving this kind of dramatic change? Well, to really get the why behind all this, the source material tells us we actually need to look back in time. Because turns out this is not the first time our financial system has been pushed right to the edge, to its absolute breaking point. And that actually brings us to a really fascinating story from the past, something that sets the stage for everything we're seeing today. The Great Paperwork Crisis of the 1960s.
I want you to picture this. It's the 1960s, there's a booming market, but behind the scenes, Wall Street is literally drowning in paper. I mean, we're talking about clerks physically wheeling carts stacked high with paper stock certificates between offices. The system was so swamped, they actually had to close the entire stock exchange every Wednesday just to try and sort through the mess. It was a totally ancient system just buckling under the pressure of a modern bull market.
And, this shows us a pattern that just keeps repeating in American finance. Our financial system doesn't just kind of gently evolve. Nope. It's forced to make these huge leaps forward when the old way of doing things completely breaks. The paperwork crisis led to computers. The rise of electronic trading led to new regulations. And that, right there, brings us full circle to today's challenge. And, you guessed it, today's proposed solution. All right, so how do we fix the problem this time around? Well, this is where the initiative being called Project Crypto comes into play, as the proposed answer for the next great evolution of finance.
Okay, to get this whole project, we have to talk about what on-chain even means. Think about it like this. For decades, all your stocks, all your assets, they've basically lived inside a private, centralized database. It's like a bank's secret spreadsheet that only they can see and control. Moving on-chain is a total game changer. It means taking those records and putting them on a shared, transparent, and decentralized ledger, a blockchain. It's a huge, fundamental shift in who actually controls the official record of who owns what.
So the project itself has this kind of three-pronged attack. And it's not just about, hey, let's use some new tech. First, they're updating the actual rulebook. Second, they're paving the way for markets to actually make that move on-chain. And third, and this part is absolutely critical, it's about drawing clear lines in the sand, separating what's a digital commodity from what's a digital security.
So what does this all mean for the money actually flowing through the markets?
Okay, to really wrap your head around the scale we're talking about here, let's just look at one number. $53 trillion. That's the market cap of just the S&P 500 alone, just America's 500 largest companies. The goal here is to build the financial plumbing strong enough to one day move a market of that insane size onto the blockchain. It's huge.
So one of the first real tangible steps we're seeing is the SEC opening the door for a bunch of new investment products. After the big Bitcoin ETP approvals, the SEC has now put out new standards for other crypto ETPs, and that could bring a whole wave of different digital assets right into your average investor's portfolio.
So the big question is, who's next? Well, the source material says any token that's had futures trading for at least 6 months is potentially in the running. And you've got some big names on that list of potential candidates. We're talking XRP, Solana, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, a whole bunch of them. And some experts are saying we could see approvals for some of these as soon as this fall.
Now, as you can probably guess, this big government-led push is making some serious waves on Wall Street. It's forcing even the biggest crypto haters to finally change their tune.
I mean, if you need one single sign that the tide is turning, this is it. That's Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JPMorgan Chase, who for years was probably the biggest crypto skeptic out there. For him to come out and say, if the customers want to use it, we'll be in it, that is a landmark moment. It really signals a massive pivot for all of Wall Street.
And look, this isn't just talk. The source is reporting that JPMorgan is already making moves, partnering up with Coinbase to bake crypto right into their services. Basically, this would mean Chase customers could buy crypto right from their bank account. finally building that bridge between old-school finance and the new digital economy.
So here's the thing. This project, it's not a flip of a switch. It's not happening overnight. It's more like the starting pistol for a massive race to rebuild our entire financial infrastructure from the ground up. And that leaves us with this one really important question for the next few years. As the financial world moves on-chain, who's going to win the race to build its new foundation? The race is on, and honestly, the outcome is going to define the future of money for all of us.